The only island I'm from is from Long Island, but I did make a Jamaican slash Trinidadian curry tonight. I took some green pepper, some scallions, 2 garlic cloves, and some fresh chopped parsley. And then I added that to my NutriBullet. I juiced a lemon. And then I added some fresh thyme to that. I took some allspice, and because I do make a lot of different curries around here, I added some curry powder. I did not have Jamaican curry. I just used the curry that I had. Okay, so don't kill me. Then I added some salt, some black pepper, and then because I wanted a neutral flavored oil, I used some avocado oil. I think an olive oil would have been too strong tasting. I took that and pureed it in my NutriBullet. My girlfriend gave me this recipe. She's from Trinidad, and all I remember her is saying, like, it has to be green. So that looks pretty green to me, but I could be wrong. I added that on top of my chicken breast. You can use any cut of chicken you like. We like chicken breasts around here. And then I gave that a good mix, and I set it in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. And I mixed it up again halfway through. I took a hot Dutch oven. I added some more avocado oil to it. And then I just started browning my chicken. And then I flipped it halfway through. And don't get nervous about those brown bits thinking that you're going to ruin your pan. You're going to scrape that up, and that's what gives it flavor, okay? So once my chicken was all done, I took another green bell pepper and some more scallions diced up, and I added that to my pot. The idea is to start scraping those bits up little by little. Usually the water from the vegetables kind of gets it out, but it didn't. So I took my bowl that I marinated my chicken in, added some chicken stock, mixed up the rest of the flavor that was in there, added it to the pot, scraped up the bottom, and then once that was all scraped up, I added my chicken breast that I had browned to my pot, okay? And then once that was added in, you got to scrape the plate that the chicken was resting on because that just has more flavor in it. And then I started reseasoning my sauce. Oh, I added some more chicken bouillon first because you really want to make sure that the chicken's covered. So I do it a little bit at a time. I added some additional allspice to this. And then I added some more of the curry. At this point, I didn't add salt because of the chicken broth. And I don't like to oversalt my food, okay? And then I added more chicken broth because it wasn't enough to cover the meat. And then I washed and destemmed 2 habanero peppers. If you can find a Scotch bonnet, that is typically what you should use. I just can't find Scotch bonnets in a grocery store by me. I'd have to go to a specialty food store. Once my chicken was simmering for a bit, I cut up some carrots and I added that into it. Almost lost a few. I gave that a good mix. And then that was cooking for a little bit. And then I added some more thyme. And then covered it and simmered it down a little bit. And then I added my potatoes. I cut up like 3 or 4 regular potatoes after they were peeled. I added that in. And that's when I added my salt because the potatoes are going to absorb your salt. If you ever cook anything and it has too much salt, just put a piece of potato in there and it will absorb all that salt that you have extra in there, okay? So I just gave that a good mix. And then put the lid on that. When my potatoes were done, I made a slurry, okay? So what I put in my slurry was some cornstarch, some chicken broth, and then I added some gravy master to it, just for the color. And I gave that a good mix and I poured it over, and it immediately started thickening up the sauce and made it more like a gravy. Okay. And my rice was cooking on the side. I just boiled up some regular white rice on the side. And that was basically it. It does take a while, but I'm home. It's Saturday. So for me, it's no big deal. My son's at work. He loves this curry, so I have to pick him up soon, and he's going to come home to a nice dinner. There you go. There's the rice. And then I just plated it up, okay? I put some rice on the side. I gave myself a nice chicken breast, some gravy, potatoes, and I have to tell you, it was delicious. Let me know if you make it.